The topic I would like to discuss with you guys this evening is the topic of being genuine. Okay? Now, when I say being genuine, what I am meaning is an unrestricted expression from the heart of one's being. Okay? Now, I love I love how everything kind of has a sort of spectrum of meaning where you can kind of take it at the more surface level and kind of apply it to, I don't know, just our surface level interactions, but at the same time everything has this depth and has this profound nature that we can kind of understand as well. And so when I say, the way I just described being genuine, if we take that to its climax, what it really means, if we are really truly 100% genuine, that state of existence is what I would call the Christ-like state of existence, or it is just the unrestricted flow of our true nature, of our infinite nature. Okay? So there's kind of a big difference between that more abstract, big picture notion of being genuine and perhaps, the way we more often use that word just kind of to mean being honest and being open about our feelings and our ideas. And they're the same concept. One is just taken to its fruition, right? Taken to its most kind of ultimate big picture idea about it. So I want to be genuine, right, with you guys. I want to be genuine with the world. And to me, what that means is expressing from my heart my intention, expressing from my heart my sense of love and joy and compassion and all of these things, but really just being open. So we can kind of see, being genuine means not having resistance in one's actions, okay? Not having friction in one's actions. The ego, and when I say ego, I mean the very most surface level identification, or the very most surface level construct of this mind feedback interaction that we're having, right? This sort of non-existent self-identification that we call the ego, the ripples on the surface of this mind that we call the ego, is sort of it's almost the antithesis of being genuine. And I know that might confuse people, because the ego is a very necessary thing, right? It is a very integral part in this interaction that we have in this world. But we have to recognize that the ego is just a finite mind construct, right? That it only, its reality is only one of, limited perception or interaction, you might say. So being genuine is expressing beyond the ego, right? The ego, can't really be genuine because it has no, it is not rooted in that infinite foundation of our soul, of our being, of our consciousness, right? The ego is just a compiling of information that is self-identified, you might say, and we can use different words to describe it, but in essence, in general, that word ego, relates to kind of this I-ness. It relates to this kind of finite individuality. Now, there is a sort of infinite individuality that we can talk about and that we can express. And so, in being genuine, to me, that would be expressing that infinite individuality, right? We all have this uniqueness in our expression. We all have a point of relativity from which we manifest, you might say. And so, a way you can kind of understand that, because my perspective is we all have an infinite nature, being that we arise from that infinite source. There is no disconnect. Where in that infinite expression do you have all of a sudden this severing and then you are separate, right? That doesn't exist. That doesn't make sense. So, being that we are, the children of this infinite source, or reflections or expressions or manifestations of this infinite source, then our nature is as well infinite. And so we can see, even though we are infinite, we still have that unique individuality, right? And a way you can kind of understand that is, again, with numbers. Numbers are a beautiful thing because they're a simplistic expression of infinite systems, right? And of course, geometry and other sciences can really help understand this idea of infinitude, because really, in trying to understand our reality, what we're trying to do is understand infinitude. It really is that simple. So, with numbers, right, between 0 and 1, there are infinite points, okay? There is an infinite amount between 0 and 1. So, in terms of your individual expression, the way that you can still be understood as infinite, even though you are this kind of singular point of consciousness contained within the grander infinitude, is that, let's say, so contained within, the infinity of a number line, there is this, space between 0 and 1. Let's say you are 1. You are the number 1. All right? I'm the number 2. Someone else is the number 3. So we have this individual point that is our point on the number line as number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then contained within, the space relative to the next point, perhaps. So like between 0 and 1, between 1 and 2, again, there is an infinite potential. And you could do that again. You could say, okay, I am 0.1. And so contained within me is still this infinite potential. So 0.1256 or 0.14328, right? Infinite different variations contained within that segment on the number line, segment of information. All right, so kind of went on a tangent there, but the point was to show that we each have this individual expression of infinitude. And to bring it back to the original topic, my hope is to genuinely express my individual expression of infinitude, or my individual infinite potential, you could say. So, you know what? I'll leave it there. Short and sweet. So, be genuine, you guys. You know, really express from the heart. Express beyond these more surface level identifications, and find the depth of your being and share it with the world. Because if you're really sharing from that depth, you know, it's going to be a beautiful thing, and the world will recognize that. So, peace, love, and harmony.